Welcome back. A win for Africa and a win for the North African brothers, the South African brothers, and also Central Africa, not forgetting Western East Africa. Yes, Morocco has done the unthinkable, as I did say, a sensational performance from the Atlas Lions of Morocco. And they say football investment is what it is all about and not bilateral relationship. It never works. Only investment works. And that's what Morocco has done. And we can see the precedents from the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. I am Yeboah. I'm joined in the studio with Susan Omopeloye. Hello, Susan.
Good to be on the show, and it's Africa time. It's time to support Africa, and it's time to go ahead to do big things like Morocco is currently doing. And just 3 key words for Morocco at this World Cup: purpose, believe, and the confidence.
Yes, 3 for sure. Purpose, the believe, and the confidence from the Atlas Lions and Coach Wahid Regragui. We've got a guest standing by on Zoom. We've got from Ghana, we've got Joyce Yeboah joining us from Ghana. Thank you so much, Joyce.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's all about ladies. And when they say, who run the world? We say girls, yes. Of course. The girls run the world. Thank you for joining us. And it's great to see that ladies are discussing football at this time at the FIFA World Cup. Great to have you on the show, Joyce.
Thank you.
All right, we say that Africa is celebrating. So West Africa, East Africa, the Central Africa, North Africa celebrating Morocco's feat at the FIFA World Cup. Let me get to know, how's the mood there in Ghana? Because this win is for Africa. Let's start off with that soft landing.
Thank you. For now, Ghanaians are really happy to see Morocco progressing so fast, and then we actually believe in what they are capable of doing, especially when they started their group stage, winning a game against Belgium and then Canada, and then drawing against Croatia, topping the group there, gave some sort of confidence that they will be able to qualify through the round of 16 and then to the quarterfinals. And Ghanaians were also expecting Morocco to win the game against Portugal, and of course they did it yesterday because Ghanaians had Portugal in their group stage, and they think that how the game went between the Ghana and then Portugal was quite not okay with them. So it was all about praying that Morocco would be able to beat them, and they did it so well. So Ghanaians, we are really, really happy.
Ghanaians are really happy. I can see that in your face. But they say beauty doesn't win games. If not, you would have gone with the Ghana Black Stars too. Qatar, maybe they would have had the win, but beauty, they say, will not win games. Let's go straight to our top stories as we have right now. We would start up from FIFA said, Argentina, the Netherlands, if you would not allow me sleep, you would not sleep. Now, Federation of International Football Association have now released some disciplinary proceedings concerning the FAs, Argentine FA and the Dutch FAs, due to that misconduct of players and officials and disrupting the order of peace at the FIFA World Cup, especially that their quarterfinal tie. Now, of course, FIFA is saying, please, I need to rest. I need to enjoy the best ever Arab World Cup. You know, don't come disrupting my peace. So they've released this disciplinary committee here, sitting on the Argentine FA and the Dutch FAs. Now, you could see that encounter there when it all happened, and you could see the Dutch players were the ones who threw the first punch. They came all out. The ones who are substitute came all out, going up against the Argentines. Now, they say when you are losing games, that's when, you know, emotions run high. At this time, FIFA releasing this disciplinary committee on them.
Yes, you know, FIFA has always wanted to preach peace with football, preach unity with football. So at this crucial time where the world is also trying to preach peace and unity, football is also one of the tools that's being used to preach that. And you have to control yourself when your temper is running high, and that's why FIFA has always preached that when the games that tempers are running high, referees should be able to control them. And very much like the Spanish referee.
The referee could not even control
he couldn't control it, and he had to start serving them cautions. 18 yellow cards, and that's the record at the FIFA World Cup. 18 yellow cards, and that's to tell you how much temper flew in that game. But FIFA will always come out with the disciplinary armor, and the armor has come right now, and it's just for them to work with it. And I'm very sure the next World Cup, if they will get to the knockout round. I'm very sure they will be able to contain themselves.
Joyce, time to bring you in this conversation, because I know one team that is familiar with this kind of act is the Ghana Black Stars. Apologies on that, but I know for sure that one name I can never forget at the African Cup of Nations Cameroon 2021 was Daniel Amate. So at this time, FIFA having to, open a disciplinary committee for Argentine FA and the Dutch FA. Looking at that emotion running high there, what was your thoughts compared to what Ghana did at the African Cup of Nations?
Well, I think this is the right thing to do, because there's a potential breach of the Article 12 of the FIFA disciplinary code, which actually talks about the misconduct of players and officials. And that particular game between Argentina and Netherlands, we saw how these players reacted, and then it was quite indisciplined. And I think the referee who was in charge, Mathieu Lahoz, actually did well by giving them 18 yellow cards, just to show that it was a game with so much indisciplinary things. So I think FIFA just have to look into the case so well, and then if there is any fine or punishment that has to be given to the players or officials or the team, they have to do that, so that it will serve as an example for other teams, so that they will be able to comport themselves no matter how the situation is. But to compare to Ghana, I think this is a whole different issue. This is World Cup, and I don't want to bring Ghana here because, of course, we are out of the competition and we would not want to talk much about us. But the right thing to be done is FIFA look into the situation and then give the possible punishment that actually has to go to any player or any official who didn't behave well on the field of play.
Okay, we'll wait and see what it will look like. We know that FIFA do not tolerate misconduct like this, things that brings disrepute to the game. And things like this, of course, brings disrepute to the game, because they say that a game, you have to be a sportman. You win some, you lose some. You do not have to take all the grudges on the field of play down to the homes, down to your countries, and make it something else. Football preaches unity, preaches solidarity, preaches oneness, and that is what FIFA is trying to preach over there. All right, now let's go further, as we have now joining us. We waited so long for her, for the South African sportcaster. We've got Naledi Apfena joining us right now. Thank you so much, Naledi, for joining us. Naledi, can you hear me?
Thank you so much for having me. So good to be back.
Okay, so good to be back having you here. You know that you're in the squad of 3 and you just made us 4 right now. 4 ladies having to discuss football at the FIFA World Cup. All right, we'll wait for Naledi. I'm very sure network having...
Sorry, I think I missed that.
Okay, Naledi, can you hear me?
Again.
Naledi, can you hear me? Let's move ahead right now. I'm very sure that our 4th man will join us, or let's say a 4th woman will join us on the show. Okay, we just talked about FIFA disciplinary committee being opened for the Argentine FA and the Dutch FA due to that misconduct there, and they say they're trying to preach peace. That's our top story, the first one. Let's go to our next story right now, and we'll say Africa is on the rise. It is all about Morocco, 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 the Atlas Lions, the Atlas Lions. I wish I know how to sing that song, you know. Morocco doing the unthinkable, Morocco doing the unimaginable, and the sensational there. They have put Africa on the world map. But it is reported that Africa is guaranteed more sports with Morocco. Now, the higher they go, the more sports we have at the next FIFA World Cup come 2026. Now, it is said that 9 permanent slots, 1 playoff, and 1 because they reached the semi-final, of course. Morocco are unbeaten in this World Cup. Remember, they considered just 1 goal. And it is not Yashin Bono that considered that goal. That was the game when Yashin had troubles and he had to be substituted out of the game. Now, that is only 1 goal they've got. They become the most successful African nation and the pioneers of African football. Now, in 1970, we did a little bit of research. 1970, we noticed that they became the first African team to qualify in the qualifying phase for the FIFA World Cup and the first to win a point. Now, of course, in 1986, they are the first African team to reach the 2nd round of the FIFA World Cup. In 2022 now, they are the first African team to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. Morocco has just paved the way for Africa, Susan.
And talking about getting more slots at the FIFA World Cup, and I'll take us down memory lane a little bit, because in 1968, where the qualifiers were supposed to be taking place, 31 African countries actually pulled out of that qualifying phase because FIFA brought out a regulation at that time that after playing your zone qualifications, African teams will still need to play playoffs with Asian champions. And CAF came out and said, no, our zone qualifications should be enough to guarantee automatic spot at the World Cup. And they all boycotted the qualification stage at that time. And FIFA came back and said, you know what, we got this settled for this one. The next edition of the World Cup will give you more slots. And that was how it started. They now started giving Africa one automatic slot. And right now we are having more than one automatic slot. We are going into 9 automatic slots. Next World Cup we could have 10 automatic slots, because now it's going to be 9.5 slots. The half means that you go into playoffs. If you win your playoffs, then you have 10 African countries at the World Cup. And with what Morocco has given us right now, it means that we have more African countries, then we can get to better place or probably win the World Cup. Because when we wanted to start the FIFA World Cup, Samuel Eto'o, the Cameroon FA president, came out and said, it's Africa time, we're going to win the World Cup. And some people said Africa time is not always correct. And Eto'o told them that this is the time for Africa to do it. And we see what Morocco is doing.
He predicted it.
He predicted it. And it looks like it's going to happen, because look at the teams in the semi-final. It looks like Morocco have got a better chance.
Yes, of course.
Morocco is in the semi-finals, Croatia in the semi-finals, France in the semi-finals. And if there's anything, Argentina also in the semi-finals. So if there's anything Qatar 2022 has told us, is that no respect for big teams, no respect for big names.
But it seems that we've got 2 European teams there, one CONMEBOL and one African team in the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. They say what Africa cannot do does not exist. Yes, of course. And Morocco has been able to prove that statement there. But one man, a legendary Pelé, he predicted this, that Qatar 2022 might be the big surprise for Africa. Joyce Yeboah, if you're still with us, of course, we see when legends begin to see what a child cannot see standing on the 3. You know that, sure, we're seeing a light at the tunnel. Is this the light at the tunnel for us in Africa concerning the FIFA World Cup?
Well, yes, I believe so. With what Morocco have done so far in the competition, I think we have a better chance to progress even from the semi-finals. And before the tournament, people were actually thinking Senegal to have gone this far, but then it turned out to be Morocco, who is doing so well at the FIFA World Cup. And looking at their journey so far from the group stage, nobody thought they would have topped the group with 7 points. A group that you have Croatia, you have Belgium. By the end of the day, they topped the group with 7 points, scoring 2 goals against Belgium, drew against Croatia, and then won against Canada. And from there, they progressed to the knockout stage, met Spain, and then they knocked Spain out of the competition. They met Portugal yesterday, and then they were able to do it again. And looking at how the confidence the players are, you can see that they are ready for the tournament. They have Hakim Ziyech, who is performing so well for them, El Nasri doing well, and then as Dean, you have a goalkeeper who is a world-class goalkeeper, Bono, also doing so well at the goalkeeping department. Everything shows clear, everything is actually perfect for them, and I think this is the time for them to write more in their own books, and we are expecting them to do so, even though they will meet France and it's going to be quite difficult for them. But I think from what we've seen, the statistics so far, everything shows that they are ready to do it. Not conceding a goal from an opponent player shows how defensive organization, how solid they are. And I think they are capable of doing anything. And if Africa or a team like Morocco is able to qualify to the final, I won't be surprised, because they've done really good job, and you could see that they have a proper structure with their football system, and then they are doing so well. So I won't be surprised if I see them in the finals of the competition, but then it's something difficult for them to do.
We wait for that which is difficult. What is difficult for Wahid Regragui? Oh, I don't think there's anything difficult. But looking at the way Morocco stands at the semi-final now, so they are guaranteed a medal Because if they do not qualify for the final, which I'm not praying for, because I'm an African, so I'll be waiting for them at the third place. So they'll be guaranteed a medal, I'm very certain.
Definitely, they will be guaranteed a medal.
All right, but you never heard this, but you hear it here. The latest FIFA ranking for December 2022. We are seeing Morocco moving up in the rankings. Now, people who've got a little bit of change in their placement is Spain. Spain, you know, they'll go down, of course. That shock loss in the hands of their opponent, that big shocker from Japan and all. Of course, Spain will have a little bit of shift, and we'll have the likes of Morocco moving up, Switzerland moving. They'll move to, United States will move, Germany also will move. We're hoping, where would they move to? Would they move up or move down? But in the latest ranking, what concerns me here is Africa. So Africa moving up in the rankings.
Definitely, African teams has got to move up. Morocco definitely. In fact, if they move as high as 20 spots more, you should know that it is well deserved.
It's a boost.
Yeah, it's a boost that they've worked their way. It's not stumbling on it. They didn't stumble on it, and they planned it really well. And
Susan,
it's really
but the highest an
them.
African team has ever made it to the top of the top 10 was Nigeria, when they were number 5 in the world. Since then.
Yeah, I think Morocco can do one more. They can do one better, probably getting to the 4th in the world. In fact, if they get to the final, I think they should be making the top 3 in the world, because what they've done so far at the World Cup is unimaginable for an African team. So if they get to the final and they probably win it, because I've been posting it everywhere on social media that Morocco to win the World Cup, believe it or not. So if they get to win it, I'm very sure they should be ranked number 1 in the world.
Okay, we wait. Where will Ghana be? Where will South Africa be? Our two guests joining us via Zoom is supposed to tell us where South Africa and Ghana will be. For me, Nigeria, they say bilateral relationship, but we are looking for where that has taken us to. We're hoping that those will say that Nigeria are the number 1 in football. No, you have to go back on that statement, because right now we are seeing teams that are investing in football going all the way. Yeboah, Joyce, what do you think? Where do you think Ghana would stand in the latest ranking?
Well, for the past few years, Ghana have not performed so well when it comes to international football. And you could see that even in 2019 AFCON, we saw how bad the team performed. And this particular tournament, we entered into the tournament, FIFA actually ranked us as the least or the weakest team in the tournament. And of course, at the end of the day, we couldn't get the necessary points. And everything shows that Ghana, we don't have a strong team. Maybe we have our own issues. We have our own problems. We have people that we think they are not doing well for the nation, and it's affecting football. But then I think we won't be in the top 40 because of how bad we've been for the past 2, 3, 4 years. And I won't be surprised, because we have nothing to actually boast of that. No, we've performed. We did well in the AFCON, we did well in FIFA World Cup, so FIFA should rank us top. No, I think we will be one of the least African countries that will actually be ranked as the weakest team. So I won't be surprised if Ghana does not place itself in a very good position when it comes to the FIFA ranking.
Okay, we'll wait, but I'm wishing all the African teams very good placement in the latest FIFA ranking. That is just a big little reveal. But Morocco also saying that they have an intention to bid to host the 2030 World Cup. You know, Morocco has been able to host a successful CAF Women's Champions League final, successful Women's African Cup of Nations, successful CAF Champions League finals, and all at the Mohammed V Stadium. But this time they have their eye at 2030 World Cup. So immediately after the 2026 World Cup, we might see an African team get to host. This brings us to our next top story, and it's all about Shakira. Shakira has been vindicated right now. Of course, yesterday we had our talks about Shakira having to be the bad luck for Spain that made Spain get booted out of the competition, but now her name has been tainted in gold.
Has been tainted in gold. I mean, when you have the artists that have sung the song that is considered one of the best official team songs.
This is
time for Africa. And Morocco just rightly gave her that honor of being one of the songs that will have like at the back of your mind every time you want to watch the World Cup, because it totally talks about how Africa has been. The song in total, listen to what the lyrics.
I think it's the best ever theme song.
I think so. I think it's the best ever.
Apart from that of 2014, Give Me Freedom.
Yes, I think, but I think there's something about the 2010 official theme song that it just gets you groovy anytime. It's sporty and it's also very groovy.
And Susan, tell them it was hosted by an African country.
It was hosted by South Africa, an African country. And if Morocco goes on to win the 2030, win the B2's 2030 World Cup, I think we'd like to have Shakira sing that one of our specials for Africa again, because she's looking like an African.
We'll get an African artist to sing it. Must it be Shakira? What do you think, Joyce? Joyce, what do you think?
I think it's a good sign for Africa, because to see Shakira tweeting about Africa, then you would come to a point that we are doing so well when it comes to the FIFA competition, and then you would have to commend the Moroccans, because they are putting Africa on the map once again for people to know that Africa is also capable of winning the World Cup, and I think they deserve everything that is going on right now. People keep writing about them, top people keep writing about them, because they are doing something that people never thought they would have, done this. So they deserve it, and I'm glad that Shakira also wrote something about it, about what they are doing. It's a plus for them. I am really, really happy for Morocco. They should keep doing. They should motivate them. They should encourage them that they can do better. They can go and then win the trophy for Africa and then for Morocco.
Okay, everybody wants to align with Morocco. They say when you're winning, you've got a lot of friends, and that is what is happening to Morocco right now. They've got so many friends. I'm inclusive.
Of course, we're inclusive.
We are inclusive because we celebrate victory and success. That is what this is all about. I'm so proud to be an African right now. As we did say, what happened in Qatar? Does it stay in Qatar? Let's wait and see. Suzanne, waiting to see all the highlights from the FIFA World Cup and what happened yesterday. All great news for Africa. So we go on our first break, and when we come back, we'll be taking you to what happened in Qatar. Welcome back. You're still watching our NC World Cup special. I am Onyechi Obaro, and yes, we've taken you through our top stories. There we did celebrate Morocco. Morocco is taking all the news right now, so we have to give it to them because they deserve it. But Qatar has told us and taught us one thing, that football is won with 70% technical, that is tactical, from the bench, and 30% talent. I could see talent yesterday when Morocco had to go past Portugal in that game. Yes, the likes of Ziyech, even with the injuries, even with all the pressure, they could come out to make one fight certain, getting their ticket to the semi-final, and that was what we could see yesterday. I still got the girl standing by from Ghana, Joyce Yeboah, still standing by to tell us all that happened, to discuss with us all that happened yesterday in that game between Portugal and Morocco. But a lot of people will put their attention on what happened to the greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Do not cry, that's what they will say. But he had to cry yesterday. Everybody cries when they don't make it to the next stage of the FIFA World Cup. And this man in the locker room, he had the tears pouring out that he could not achieve another milestone. But they say that he should go home with a consolation that he has scored goals in the 5 World Cup appearances he has made.
Is there a trophy for that one? Yeah, there's no trophy for
there's
that.
There's every trophy for Ronaldo. Come on,
yeah, that's not a trophy, because you have to win the World Cup to get the World Cup trophy. That could not even be put in the cabinet, trophy cabinet.
Do you think if Santos had at least just start Ronaldo, would have seen a different thing on the pitch of play?
I don't think so. I think Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo, they brought this on themselves, because Cristiano Ronaldo has been the talk of town even before the World Cup, and I expected him going to the World Cup, just lay it low, just calm down and just let everything slide. But after you're saying, games,
I'm sorry for buttoning, you're saying that interview with Piers Morgan really was catastrophic right now.
Yeah, it was.
FIFA campaign.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think it affected the team a little bit, but I think they were trying to manage it, do a lot of damage control. But after the group stage games, Cristiano Ronaldo also came out to say that is not distracted and all of that.
Okay.
And there were reports from the camp of Portugal that Cristiano Ronaldo actually challenged Santos and criticized him about his tactics and all of that.
Wow.
So when you're trying to do that, you are causing a distraction for the team.
Okay.
You are causing division in the team. And I think he brought it upon himself. He should have played the game against Switzerland. If he had played that game, I'm very sure we have probably gotten a hat-trick in that game.
Okay.
But Portugal played that game without Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. They won 6-1. So you expect any coach to also bench him for the next game because
he would not need him. Ronaldo came in as a substitute.
You have to take charge of your team. You have to take charge of your team. He played larger part of the game. 51 minutes was when he was brought in. So that's enough time for you to make your impact as well, even if you did not start that game. So that's to tell you that they still know that you are still valued. Yes, you might start from the bench, but come in and make your impact. And unfortunately for him, he's playing against a very decent Morocco side that it's very difficult for you to break down their defense. And mind you, Morocco also had 3 of their key defenders out of this one. Sai started, but he was injured. He had to be taken out. Aguerd didn't start the game. And there was also Masmaru, who also didn't start from the right back as well. So they have 3 of their key defenders that started all their group stage games to the round of 16, not played their game. But unfortunately for Portugal, they could not splice through the defense.
Okay, let's hear what the coach, Joyce Yeboah, has to say. Now, let's see the tactics from Waid and also the tactics from Santos. How did they lose the game? And how did Waid get to win this game against Portugal? Joyce, are you still with me?
Yeah, I think Coach Wilde did so well. And looking at their journey so far in the tournament, you could see that they have proper game management and they have a very good team. They are compact and they mostly rely on their defensive organization where players know what they have to do at a particular time. So they defend so well, and when they are attacking, they know what to do as well. And I think they have the strength, the energy to run throughout the 90 minutes. And that is one thing that really helped them because the coach realized that, no, I have these players. They can play the defensive game, and then when it comes to counter-attack, they will be able to also utilize their chances when they get to the opponent's half. And he was able to, train them to understand that particular game plan, and they were able to execute it when they meet in a team. And I think against Portugal, they did the same thing. They were able to manage and then have their way through the Portugal defense, and then they were able to get the 3 points.
Okay, Joyce, how did they miss it? Where did they miss it? The goal from El Nesiri, how did they miss it? What were they missing in that defensive lineup that made that goal slip in?
I actually think the Portugal defenders were asleep at that particular time, and then the goalkeeper also didn't know what to do. You could see that the ball was at the far left, then they crossed the ball in, and there was this guy Nesri there who was able to jump higher to head the ball at the back of the net, and then the goalkeeper had nothing to do. The defenders couldn't challenge him. I think that was the only trouble, that they couldn't identify when Nesri was entering the box and how they could have been able to stop him from getting that ball at the back of the net. So the goalkeeper didn't time well, and the defenders were also asleep.
Okay, the defenders were asleep. Sister, do you think so?
Well, I think you can't stop a goal, because if the goal is meant to go in, you can't stop it. In fact, the best goalkeeper would not stop that goal. There was nothing. The goalkeeper knew absolutely nothing about that goal, because Nesiri actually rose high above every defender, and there was no way he could even put a hand to it. So I think it was just a goal that was meant to go in. There was nothing special the defenders could have done about it. He had other chances. He could have scored that same goal, but unfortunately, this was the best chance he got, and he slotted it in.
Morocco have got every right to celebrate at this time. Yes, they had a lot of injuries, but they could go past all the difficulties, all the challenges, and able to create that historic feat, giving Africa a semi-final berth. I am so proud right now. But we're able to contact football journalist who is in Qatar right now covering the game, Clive Shazi, just to get the mood in Qatar. Every single one there, how they felt after Morocco had picked up that win. This is what he said on our NC Continental Prime.
The current mood is unexplainable. I'm just coming from a FIFA fan festival, and through the metro, And everywhere you reached, Moroccan fans in very huge numbers are singing on top of their voices. They are beating drums. They are using every instrument they have to make their presence felt. Actually, they have caused attention. I was at the metro station just a few meters here called the Mishra metro station. Everyone, including the guides at the metro station, including the volunteers, including the security personnel, everyone pulled out their phones and started recording the excitement, the concert, and the Moroccans that tried to put on in the metro station. And that is the kind of atmosphere it has been. Rarely do we have a traffic jam at a downtime in Mishra. As we speak at the moment, there is traffic jam. Cars cannot move smoothly like they have always been moved smoothly. You have people singing, you have people chanting, people holding flags, people throwing their heads out of cars as they go on the road just to make their presence felt, because an African.
They are making your presence felt with hosting the whole Moroccan flag there. You know, Morocco were able to get this far with the 12th man. The fans were very instrumental in taking Morocco thus far. Do you agree with me, Susan?
Yeah, I agree with you perfectly, because we've been seeing sights and sounds and pictures, videos coming from Qatar about fans and people that are not even from Morocco joining in the celebration. That's why we mentioned earlier that success has got a lot of friends, and familiarity will always be attached to success. And we've seen that in Qatar, because even the teams that have got their countries, that countries have been eliminated, they've now ported to the camp of Morocco, and they come out with, and Morocco are making a lot in terms of jersey sales at the World Cup, because every supporter that is going with Morocco, they are putting on the jersey of Morocco. They are not necessarily from Morocco, but they are giving them all their support, that if you can be able to make it past the quarterfinals into the semifinals, then we are giving you all our support. And I think it's very, very key and instrumental to how far they've gone so far in the World Cup.
They say for you to party, you must party hard. The party continues in Casablanca, where all Moroccans are joyous. They are ecstatic about the win and the berth, so the semi-final berth at the FIFA World Cup. We saw this for the Ghanaians. We saw this for the Senegalese. We saw this for Tunisian fans. But you cannot compare those fans to that of Morocco. They came all out, and even the king had to buy more tickets for the fans to sit, to support. Now it's time to bring Joyce. Joyce, you know how important the 12th man is. Morocco has been able to prove that the 12th man is what you need all the way to make historic feats like Morocco did.
I'm glad that the Kane actually did that for the fans, because there is the moment, this is the time that they can do all these things just to cheer the players up and motivate them enough to fight hard and then get to the finals of the competition. I believe that even with this, we are going to add more fans to it so that they will be able to cheer them up against France and probably qualify from that stage to the finals. And I think if they are able to qualify to the final, it's going to be something massive. And if it was to be Ghana, we would do the same thing, understand? And I mean, it's good. It's good. They are doing well. So they need the fans. They need the 12 man to support them 100%.
That's what they do. Support their team all the way to the top. But let's talk about the other game for the quarterfinal fixture, and that should be France against England. Now, that game we thought to be a bag of gold, but it's ended up being just a one-sided. Yes, the English team could not stop Kylian Mbappe and that speed there. They could not just stop the little boy. He was the one who gave them the Le Bleu this big win here. And now they've got a semi-final berth.
Well, Kylian Mbappe has matured. He's now a man. The last time was at the World Cup and France won. He was a teenager. And now he's matured and is hoping to lead France to defend their title. And there are two teams that have only defended their title at the World Cup, just Italy and Brazil. In fact, Brazil could have done it again in 2002, but unfortunately France stopped them. So France are looking like that team that might be able to defend their World Cup title back to back, and we'll be able to see that if Mbappe is not injured, if Dembele is not injured,
what happens when you lock Mbappe? What happens if you lock Mbappe?
I'm not sure Mbappe can be locked. I think the only thing you can do is score more goals against this French side, because Mbappe has got a terrific speed. He's very pacey and it's very tricky. At times when he's not even doing the scoring, he's giving the assist. And you have Giroud up front. There's no way you can even catch Giroud, because Giroud is not a known striker. He just does his own, comes to the
He's not
midfield,
a
give the
predictable
assist.
striker.
His
I
link
feel
up
he's not a
play is
predictable
always
striker.
Maybe
Can
not.
be predicted.
You can't even hold him up as a striker because most times he's not even playing up front. He's really dropping by and doing the link up play. That's what Giroud. Yeah, that's what Giroud does most times. And when you have Antoine Griezmann playing behind Giroud, you know what to expect. There's a lot of things to expect. So I think for me, this French side have got a lot in them. They have that talent. You look at their bench; they've got depth on the bench as well. So I think for me, France should be able to go on to do more. But against England, I just knew that was straight up win for France. England, well, they came close, yeah, but Harry Kane.
Let's hear from the coach. Now, we all thought that the whole trophy was going to come home, as the English fan would say, the trophy coming home. But it could not just go home. And England has got a squad that has got youth.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka, Rashford, Foden, every one of them there. Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's not.
He's 28, 29.
Yeah, we won't call him a youth there, but
Mason
they've got
Mount.
the young squad there. They've got young squad. So, Joyce, where do you think the English team missed it against the defending champions?
Well, I was actually expecting France to win the game, and they did it. Compare France and then England, you could see clearly that France, they have the men to do the job. And then England, they came into the game. Actually, I was expecting to see Marcus Rashford starting for them because of his performance in the previous game, but Southgate said no, and then actually selected different players.
Was that where he missed it? Was that where he missed it, Southgate? Because he has made decisions like this before.
I think so, because if you have a player who was able to score like 2 goals, did so well in your previous game, you have to keep him. We saw Fernando Santos doing same for Portugal. So I was expecting to see Marcus Rashford, but then the coach said no, I know who has to start, and I think that's his decision. But then they didn't get it right. And you have this French side who, last tournament, they were able to reach the finals. They know how to play to get to the finals, even though they came into the tournament without players like Christopher Nkunku, Karim Benzema, N'Golo Kante, you can mention of Pogba, and then Presnel Kimpembe. All these guys, they didn't come there, but then they are able to get equally good players who are really playing so well for France. And I think on any day, they will win against England.
But Harry Kane was able to make history yesterday, but that was not enough to take them to the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. It seems Harry Kane steps up when it's not really needed.
For Harry Kane, they equaled the record of Wayne Rooney. And interestingly, when they started playing was when Rooney retired, scored his own goal. And Rooney retired and he came on. He was the star man. He was the go-to man for England, and he scored more goals for them. But yesterday, it didn't just happen with him. He scored the first penalty, and they felt, okay, you are official penalty taker. You are the penalty taker for the team. Let's allow him to take the second penalty. But, you know, big players miss penalties. Yes. But yesterday, Harry Kane could have made that count. If that had gone in, then would have had a game in their hands, because at that time it would have been 2-2, then probably still extra time and maybe the lottery of penalties. But unfortunately for Harry Kane, it didn't just work out for him, and I'm very sure he'll be getting more criticism for that, because he has had enough criticism before coming to the World Cup, and now he had to miss the penalty.
Do you think he's going to get those criticism there?
It's not coming in for him already.
Because if it's a black guy who had taken that penalty, you would have seen the social media.
I was not even going to go there intentionally, because going back to what happened at the Euros, where Saka, Rashford, a lot of the black players got a lot of criticisms from the English guys, and now it's Harry Kane. It's getting a soft landing.
They're untouchable. That's why you can see that Maguire is doing better in the English national team than even in Manchester United. But let's see the semi-final berth right now. We know that they started up with 32 teams, but now they've been pruned down to 4. 4 teams will have to battle for the trophy at the FIFA World Cup. It is either France or Morocco, or we get to see the likes of Argentina. Lionel Messi said that this is going to be my last World Cup, but they will have to go past the likes of the runners-up for 2018. Croatia are looking so good. And if they go past Argentina, stop the dream for Lionel Messi, they are in another final, Susan.
I think this World Cup is serving us surprises, and I think the only surprise that is left for us to see now is Croatia and Morocco making it to the final. If that happens, then Qatar served us a lot. Well, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for them to go past Argentina. But Argentina need a mental toughness because Croatia, they are the mental beast in this competition. I mean, they can run you ragged in 90 minutes, go on to extra time, and it looked like they have not even started playing because they've got that energy. They just have this mental strength that they can do it when it gets to extra time, and they are really good with penalties. So what they did against Spain, where they scored all of their penalties, and they couldn't even get past. They couldn't even their own players couldn't score all the penalties, 4 penalties also. So I think for me, Croatia has scored it in them against Argentina. Argentina really needs to be careful of this Croatia side. You have to score your goals in full time. Don't allow it go into extra time. When you get to penalties, it's not a sure game.
Okay, let's hear what Joyce have to say. But you would have to look at that game between the defending champions and Morocco. Morocco are out to make history once again if they make it to the final of the FIFA World Cup. While France, they are defending champions. They are playing for the glory. They are playing for the pride. They will not dent that image to win it back to back. What's your prediction here?
Well, I made it earlier on that I said it earlier on that Morocco is going to be difficult for them because looking at the statistics, these two teams have met national friendlies twice, and Morocco have lost one, and then they drew one against France. So this particular game, this is a proper tournament, and they would want to qualify to the final. So they need a lot of work to do. But when you compare their team to France, of course, you raise France ahead of them, but I think they are capable of doing anything because they have proper game management, and you could see that this particular tournament, they are yet to concede a goal from an opponent player. Maybe France will do that, but then it's going to be difficult for France as well. But I think it's going to be a game that we will not see more goals from there because Morocco will defend so well against France. But when it gets to the penalty shootouts, I believe Morocco will be able to sail through. But so the 90 minutes is France. France have the opportunity to progress, but I also believe that Morocco can manage the game so well.
Okay, I also believe that Africa would go far this time, but it's going to be a reunion. Paris Saint-Germain reunion there between Kylian Mbappe and Achraf Hakimi. They will meet again, but this time around, they are facing their national sides. So we wait and see what it will look like for the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. This is where we have to call it a wrap on the show. The ladies have spoken. They say Croatia might get a chance, and from Ghana, we are hearing that France might get a chance, but if it runs into penalty, just like Joyce has predicted here, she says, Morocco all the way. I'm going to take you both for your words, saying Croatia and France. Or maybe Morocco. She's standing on the fence right now. Thank you so much, Joyce Yeboah, a coach and a sport journalist from Accra, Ghana, for joining us on the show today.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Sudan.
Always a pleasure
Great
to be on the show.
to see you here. It seems you keep illuminating me, you know, the light from that place.
Definitely, my light is getting to Morocco.
I can see that, and I'm hoping that it takes them to the finals of the FIFA World Cup. Wednesday is that match, and I'm going to mark my calendar. You must do so if you're an African, if you're a proud African. I am one here, and I'm telling you, please go mark your calendar. We want to see history being made once again. They either get to the final of the FIFA World Cup or they get to the fourth place where they'll be up for another medal, a bronze medal at the FIFA World Cup. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll leave you with what you missed on social media. I am Onyechi Obaro. See you next week.
Why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!